Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Saida here with another video. Welcome guys to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Saida, and here on Marital, we keeping it real, we keeping it 100, and we're trying to navigate life like a boss while overcoming all obstacles. So if you like the sound of that, hit that subscribe button and join our Afro squad. So for those who are new to my channel, I'm Saida. I'm a Tanzanian living in Malaysia with my family. I am in a polygamy relationship, and I try to motivate women, try to uplift women and show them that it's not the end of the world. Yes, you might have to make some changes in your life that are unexpected, especially if you're a Muslim, you know that it is permissible. So instead of living life fighting and trying to be miserable, I actually talk about how you can find peace, happiness, and actually a very purposeful and fulfilling life even while in polygamy. So for those who want to hear more about that, keep watching and tune into my channel. We're keeping it real, we're keeping it 100, and we're trying to navigate life like a boss. So for this week's, I was thinking about what video I want to post for you guys. And I know most of you guys love to hear about the polygamy topic, but I wanted to show you guys that there's more towards my life than just that, right? And I know most of the time when we are thinking that, oh my God, we're about to make a huge change, our life is going to polygamy, we get scared and we feel like everything stops. But really nothing stops. It's just that our marital status changes a little bit, and instead of having a partner 24 hours a day available, or every single day of the week available, we just have that reduced a little bit, giving us more time to spend with ourselves. A lot of women that reach out to me have one common question or struggle, I would say, and I wanted to talk about that in this video as well. So the most common question that the most common question that most women come to and have, the most concern that most women have or struggle, I would say, is how to build back our self-esteem after a marriage. So some women reach out to me, they're not even in polygamy, it's just basically a normal relationship, a monogamous relationship, but they're struggling with the same issue. How do they find themselves after marriage? How do they build back their self-esteem? How do they deal with their insecurities? And I think that for me, what really just was such an eye-opener, and I think that really just changed everything, was discovering myself again. And I think it applies to every one of you or anyone who's watching or wondering, because what we think is that happiness stops when the marriage goes wrong, you know, but actually before we got married, we used to be happy. We ate, we slept, we had friends, we socialized, we did stuff, you know what I mean? And we had a whole life. We had a life. We used to probably spend time in our rooms by ourselves doing some things that we love, and we just used to find happiness in the smallest little things, right? And then when we're married, we completely forget that there is a version of us. There is the pure self, the us, the real self, without anybody, but without any strings, without anybody's influence, is a happy person. So what helps is to go back in time and reclaim, okay, who was I before I got married? If, let's say, you got married at the age of 22, right? Ask yourself, what was my life like when I was 20 years old? What is it that I used to do on a day-to-day basis that kept me happy, even when I was not even thinking about marriage? What is it I used to do? Did I have friends? Did I have hobbies? What is it that I used to do when I was alone in my room? Was I reading books? Was I listening to stuff? Happiness existed before we got married, right? It exists while we're married, and it's going to exist even after the marriage. And we just have to ask our question, and it's only we know the answers to those questions, because we know us better than anybody else. So ask yourself this question: who are you? Okay, what was your life like before you got married? Because I genuinely believe that the more you figure out who you are and try to understand yourself and be content with yourself, the more everything else falls into place. You won't have to worry about your marriage, you won't have to worry about finances, you won't have to worry about everything else you've acquired even after the marriage, right? So it's important for me. I feel like that is the main root of building back your self-esteem. So yeah, if you are struggling with this and you're trying to figure it out, like, okay, what do I need to do to get back my self-esteem? What do I need to do to regain myself again? You know, that is the answer. That is the first answer I give everybody. Self-love. Love yourself enough to go back and reclaim your identity. Figure out who you are. Like, what is your identity? What are you? You know, you were a person, a whole human being, a whole person, fully functioning, happy, like you existed before this marriage, right? That is who you are. Try to remember who that is and try to bring her back to life. Yes, you might not be able to do all the things that you used to love to do at 100%, right? But it's okay. You can do it up to 80%. If you used to love going out and hanging out with your friends and spend the whole day outside the house, yes, now you can't do a whole day, but you can do maybe 1 or 2 hours. Just these small little things, they dig back your memory and they start reminding you of who you really are. And once you remember who you are, you find happiness just within yourself. So that's the first one. The second thing that I tell most women who are struggling with that, I say the next thing is that self-discipline. A lot of us are struggling with self-discipline, and myself included, but I really acknowledge it. I know about it and I work on that now. It is understanding that, you know, even our children, we love them, but because we love them so much and we want a better life for them, we must discipline them, because we know without discipline they won't be able to achieve their goal. And we need to set goals in our life. Like, we want to be happy individuals, we want to be content, we want to be have a successful, healthy family environment. These are the goals that we set for ourselves, but we are not disciplined enough to commit and say that, okay, if this is my goal, this is what I need to do to ensure I reach that goal every day, and this is what I need to stay away from. If your goal is to be a happy and content and fulfilling, be fulfilled, right? If you have things that are toxic that come and deviate you far away from that goal, you need to avoid them. If you find that there are things that trigger you to get you off balance, avoid those things, and you must discipline yourself enough to say, I love myself and I'm going to avoid these things, right? Some people, they get triggered every time they check their husband's phone. They check the phone and their whole mood stops, their whole happiness, and they're not happy, they're just taken off balance. They start getting into the worst versions of themselves. It really just takes them way off their goal and way off the path they need to take. So understanding that, okay, there's some things that trigger me and take me off balance away from my goal, and there's some things that actually take me closer to my goal, right? Being a happy and fulfilled person. So I need to discipline myself enough to love myself, and discipline myself enough to know what to do and what not to do, what to say, and I need to be strict about it, because I love myself. I have to be firm and I have to be disciplined enough to know what I pick and choose, and what I need to discipline myself towards to reach my goal. The next thing I talk about, this is like, I do a one-off free session, and this is the same thing I'm going to tell everybody, right? If you are struggling with your self-esteem, apart from number 2, which is self-discipline, number 3, which is differentiating the thoughts in your head, and this is applicable, right? This is like this: your body, your physical appearance, it is dependent over what you consume into your body, right? The things you do. If you're gonna eat a burger one day, junk food, and then the next day you're gonna eat a salad, a healthy salad, within a week you're not gonna see any changes because you haven't been consistent, right? So if you want to ensure you reach a goal, which is a healthy version of you, you're gonna know that, okay, I must be able to identify what I'm consuming and what I'm not. If you're picking everything and you're eating everything along the way, you're not going to reach your goal, right? So understanding, okay, what will I allow in my body versus what I won't allow in my body. Same goes with our minds. The thoughts we consume build up our mental health, build up our mindset. If we want to have a positive mindset, we need to choose the positive information and content we want to consume in our minds. If it could be anywhere, because content is everywhere. You can talk to a friend, you can talk to a family member, you can actually watch a video on YouTube, you can scroll on social media and see a post. All these are content that we consume inside our heads, and if we're not able to identify what thoughts we want to allow in our heads and what we don't want to allow in our heads, we're going to have a mind that is so toxic, that has got too many voices in our heads, that needs to detox at some point, because they don't even know where they're going, what they want, and where anything is taking them. They just confuse their whole life, right? So understanding what your goal is and choosing, identify what is it, that you need to allow into your mind, and what is it that you don't allow. If you talk to a friend and she gets you further away from your goal, she just keeps telling you that, oh my God, life is so bad, life is so negative, your life sucks, people in polygamy are all suffering, it's bad, it's horrible, it's gonna happen, you're gonna fail, all of these things, then okay, if my goal is to live a happy and purposeful and fulfilling life, this content is not gonna help me get there, right? So I'm gonna not allow it in my head. I'm gonna delete this thought. I'm not even gonna allow it in my head. And if I listen to someone else who's probably motivating me to reach my goal, which is a happy, healthier mindset. Okay, yes, my life has turned out this way, but I want to take it somewhere else. I want to have a happy, fulfilling life. I want to be positive. I want to be having a healthy mindset. So I'm going to take in content that's going to help me get there, which is I'm going to listen to positive stuff. I'm going to probably if I listen to a sheikh lecturing me about how to be humble, and that helps me get closer to my goal, I'm going to allow that inside my head. And if I'm talking to a friend and she's so negative and she's just constantly reminding about how awful my life is going to turn out, I'm going to avoid that because it's not getting me closer to my goal. So being aware of our thoughts and what we allow ourselves to consume in our minds and what we don't allow is extremely important, because that determines the stronger voices in our heads, right? And number 4 is taking some time off. Yes, I know this might sound so unimportant, oh my God, what are you talking about, Saida? But it's extremely important. You see, especially us women, we're nurturers, we're natural nurturers. We are constantly worrying about how to take care of the partners, how to take care of our children. We want to make sure everybody is okay at all times. We're constantly checking on others, making sure that we're doing for others. But what we do forget is how to take care of ourselves. So it's important to make sure you make time every single day, 1 hour, like I am right now. This is me time. I'm just in the middle of the road, but it's time for me to take care of myself. I'm just gonna go for a walk and a run. It's something I do for myself to make myself feel good. It reminds me of my identity, that I love sports. So just me doing this concept, it's loving myself enough to make sure I get time for me. And that is time that is away from your children, your family, your friends, your partner. It's just you time to love yourself, time to check in with yourself and say, hey Saida, how are you feeling today? How are you doing today? How was your day? What do you do? What do you want to do tomorrow? What do you want to do this week? What goals do you want to set for yourself? How are you going to get to that goal? Just checking in with yourself, just how you would check with someone that you love. Like you would call your partner and be like, hey, how's your day? How are you feeling today? Why are you feeling low? And you'll try to get them to feel a better mood, right? It's important to make time for yourself. It is extremely important, because if you are not okay, the people around you won't be okay. So that is so important. You are the root and the cause and the CEO of your own life. You've got to check in with yourself every single day. So make time and do an hour every single day to check in on you and start doing the things that you love, and just start nourishing yourself, setting goals for yourself, loving yourself, because everything else doesn't matter as much as you being happy. Okay, everything else just follows after that. You are the cake. Okay, the others are the icing and the toppings to the cake. Okay, and the last one is gratitude. It's so huge. Gratitude is so huge. The devil, the enemy, is constantly trying to remind you of everything that you don't have in life, right? Its constant job is to just do that. You could just be scrolling on social media and you see a post that just reminds you about how miserable your life is because someone else has a better life, right? Or reminding you of that one thing that you don't have, because God doesn't not give you everything. He gives you some things and He doesn't give you others. But when you're constantly being grateful, every day practicing gratitude, that I tell this to all my clients. I said that every night before you go to bed, say 20 things that you're grateful for. And these are the simplest things that you can do, which is, thank you God for my vision, thank you God for my smell, thank you God for my ears hearing, thank you God for my body that's fully functioning. I got 2 arms that are working. Thank you God for my 2 feet. Thank you God for a healthy body. Thank you God for the water that runs in my house. Thank you God for the food on my table. Thank you God that I have family to lean on, or children that I can experience love with. Thank you God for maybe a job that I have, this income, anything, the light in my house. It could be anything. There's so much to be grateful for. When you're doing that, you're constantly fighting off the devil and the enemy, and you're trying to fight him off and everything he's trying to plant in your head, because the devil's work is to constantly remind you and amplify that which you don't have. So when you are grateful every single day, you see that there's more to life than that one thing that you don't have. That one thing that you don't have doesn't mean it's the end of the world. So practice gratitude every single day. Before you go to bed, say 20 things you're grateful for. And within time, you'll see how much you are flooded with positivity, how your mindset is changing, how you stop seeing all the negatives in life. It is time and effort, and all these 5 things together can make drastic changes in your life and can start helping you be aware of yourself, being conscious, and wake up and, you know, start living a much more fulfilling life. So guys, this is my tips to you. If anyone is struggling out there with how to build their self-esteem, how to build themselves up, how to find happiness despite all the problems that they have, these are the main things that I started implementing into my life that have created drastic change in my mindset, my behavior, start feeling that I'm living a more purposeful life despite all the challenges I have. Who says I don't get challenges? I have so many challenges just like everybody else, right? But it's a choice to make that says that, you know what, despite everything that I don't have, look at everything else that I do have. And it's living life with that principle that gives me a much more happy, fulfilling life. And I know it can do the same thing with you. So take this with you, guys. If you want a free consult with me, hit me up, email me at saida1991@gmail.com, and I can schedule a free session with you if you are interested. But if you want continuous session, then I would have to charge a small fee. But with this information I've shared with you on this video, this is enough and sufficient to take you to make the drastic changes you need in your life. And you can do it. You don't have to need anybody. You don't need me. You don't need anybody. You yourself can do this because you know you more than anybody else does. And this is just the tools that I used and perhaps can help you make the changes you need to make in your life. With that, I leave you. I was just taking my morning walk or morning run, and I felt like just filming this video with you guys. It's raw, but this is it. This is me, and I'm just here enjoying the beautiful fresh air that God has given us. All of this, you know, I heard this one saying that says that everything around us, if you look closely enough, you would find that everything that God has created is serving a purpose. The air is serving a purpose to us. The greenery, the trees are providing food to us. The water is servicing us. Everything God has created is servicing us. Yet we human beings, we're measuring everything that we do. We're constantly feeling entitled to everyone and everything, and everyone has to behave and do as we like and we wish, but we're not thinking about what are we doing back? What are we giving back? What are we, despite our challenges and difficulty, what are we giving back? So guys, take that with you today and try to do something for yourself today, because the more you do good to yourself, the more you're kind to yourself, the more you work on improving yourself, you do good to others and you give back to others, and you're happier, you're much more fulfilled, you're a happier mother, you're a happier wife, you're a happier human being in general. You stop looking at all the negatives and stop nagging and complaining, and you actually start appreciating the small things that life has to offer. Okay guys, I'm gonna leave it at that for today. You guys take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.